What's good YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. JD here with yet another video for you guys. Last year we saw the release of the Jordan 2 Off-White lows, and it had people wondering whether or not it was a sign of things to come for the Jordan 2, a sneaker that has been oftentimes neglected by Jordan brand. And it does seem that way because this year there are several pretty hyped Jordan 2s that are rumored to release. And the sneakers I'm going to be talking about in this video were perhaps the most anticipated of them all. I will be reviewing the Jordan 2 collab with Union in the Gray Fog colorway. So what is good, guys? To all of my long-term viewers, welcome back to the channel. And if you are new here, my name is Josh and I do in-depth sneaker reviews as well as plenty of other sneaker content. If that's something you're into, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I drop my next video. And while you're at it, give me a follow on Instagram as well. I'm pretty active there too. So in this video, I will be breaking down the Jordan 2 Unions. We'll talk about the colorway, the quality of this shoe. I'll talk about some sizing tips. I bet a lot of you guys watching this video have probably never worn a pair of 2s before. I'll tell you whether or not these are worth paying resale for, and of course I'll be giving you on-feet looks, so make sure you watch the entire video. So bam, here it is, the Jordan 2 Union Gray Fog colorway. It certainly feels like LA-based Union has been definitely dominating the sneaker world, at least in the first half of this year. We've already seen 3 very hyped dunks that have dropped this year, and now we got 2 colorways of the Jordan 2. Here I have the Gray Fog, and we also saw this rattan colorway. And if you tried to cop that shoe, then you can probably relate to a very painful experience that I had as well. A lot of people complained about getting charged, however, no order confirmation and not actually receiving the shoe. In fact, some of you probably had screens that look like this, which definitely led to a lot of angry customers. So hopefully Union can fix their websites for the next release. This sneaker did release for a retail price of $225 or 225 euros, which, let's be honest, is pretty expensive for a pair of Jordans. But quick history lesson, the Jordan 2 was originally supposed to be more of a luxury sneaker. In fact, the first pairs of Jordan 2s were all manufactured in Italy, and that was part of the whole marketing of the shoe, the fact that it was more of a premium sneaker. Alongside the 2 Jordan 2s, we also saw the release of this Jordan Crater, as well as a very wide selection of apparel. And this entire collection was called The Future Is Now. This is exactly why both of the colorways, the Gray Fog as well as the rattan, both of them have this aged look, basically taking what shoes may look like in the future after it ages a little bit and bringing that look to the present. So that's why the Future Is Now theme comes from. But I guess you could pretty much say that about every Jordan collab that has released over the last couple of years. But now let's get into the shoe, starting off with the box. You do get this gray box which matches the colorway. You can also see these perforations at the top of the box, the same perforations you see on the shoe. And for season, you see it says Holiday 21 because these sneakers were actually supposed to release back in the holiday season last year. But of course, due to global supply chain issues, it did get pushed back to April. And moving on to the shoes, the major color you see on the upper is this light gray, or officially called Gray Fog color. Underneath the suede panels, you also see this layer of blue colored leather, and you also see that color on the lace loops. You also get this nice hit of cream on the tongue and an even nicer red Jumpman logo. Near the back of the shoe, you have another tag which tells you which season the shoe is supposed to be made in. In my opinion, both of these colorways, they should have just released them in the spring because these are probably the most spring looking Jordans to release this year. These pastel colors go really well with the season. You also get that very familiar Union LA tag near the laces. I do really like both of these colorways. If there's one thing I would have possibly changed about this shoe, it would be the midsole. I would have changed the midsole from this gray color to maybe match the laces or match the cream on the tongue. I think giving this a nice cream aged midsole would have added even more to that whole vintage and aged look. But besides that, it is a pretty nice colorway. The blue and the gray do go quite well together. But my personal colorway preference definitely has to be the rattan pair out of these 2. Let me know down in the comments which of these colorways that you guys prefer. Moving on to the materials used on this shoe, most of the upper is done in this very nice suede material, which you see on the mudguard as well as the side panels. And the other material used on the shoe is canvas. You see that on the toe box as well as the tongue of the sneaker and also this back panel. So they opted to use very different materials than we normally see on Jordan 2s. You do get this nice leather lining though, which does add a bit of premium feel to the shoe. The canvas at the back of the shoe features these perforations, which from what I read was inspired inspired by gardening. I don't really do a lot of gardening, so I'm not exactly sure where the inspiration came from, but maybe one of you guys can help me out down in the comments. The standard laces that come with the shoe are done in this nice cream color, and you also get an additional pair of gray laces as well as these mustard yellows. Out of the three of them, for me, it's a no-brainer. You gotta keep the cream laces on this pair. These are supposed to look vintage and aged after all, so I definitely think the cream laces are the look you wanna go for. Let's move on to sizing. Now, I'll be honest, this is the first time I've actually worn a pair of Jordan 2 highs, so I wasn't entirely sure what size to get. I just went with my true size, which is a US 11. From a width perspective, it fits great. It's really comfortable. There is a bit more room around the toe box area than I like, and definitely more room than you would normally see in a Jordan 1. But it's a pretty weird fitting shoe because the rest of the shoe fits me great. I don't have any heel slippage, and definitely from a width perspective, it's perfect. I think if I went down half a size, it would be just a bit too tight. So I do suggest with you guys, stick with your true size, stick with the same size you wear in Jordan 1s. If you do think that little bit of extra room in the toe box is gonna bother you, then you can go a half size down. You might find it a bit tight in the midfoot area, but I guess you could always remove the insole. But I do think for most people, going true to size will work best. Let's talk about what these are going for right now on the secondary market. And one thing I immediately noticed is that there is a huge difference in prices between both of the colorways. These prices are from StockX Germany. And right now you can see that the rattan colorway in bigger sizes going for anywhere between 600 to 700. And meanwhile, the gray fogs are selling for way less than that. In fact, a lot of sizes are below 300. The rattan colorway was a Union exclusive and possibly had fewer pairs, which kind of explains the prices. I did say I like the rattan colorway better, but definitely not 400 bucks better. After seeing the massive differences in prices, I would personally just go with the gray fogs. If you think about, wearing these in an outfit, I think you can pretty much pull off the same fits in either of these shoes. Tough to say whether or not these are gonna keep going up in price. It is a Union collab. It was quite limited. However, it is also a Jordan 2, and Jordan brand can try as hard as they want. I still think most people don't really like that model. So will these go up? Maybe, possibly. If I were to bet on it, I would say yes. The gray fog colorway, the prices being where they are, I would say is the more likely of the two to increase in price. Overall, the Jordan 2 Unions, are these a cop or a drop? I've personally never been a huge fan of the Jordan 2 model. That's why I've never really owned any or even tried to own any. This one is a very nice colorway. However, for me personally, it's not enough to make me actually want to wear the shoe. I'd like to hear from you guys actually. Why do you think people don't really like Jordan 2 so much? For me, I think it's because the 2s don't really have anything special about it. The 1s have the wings logo, the 3s, the elephant print, the 4s, the cages, the 11s, the patent leather. The 2s for me have just always kind of looked like a generic shoe. So I'm still gonna give these a pass. But of course, let me know down in the comments if I'm being a bit too harsh. I will say if I were to actually buy a pair of 2s this year, I would probably go for that Maison Chateau Rouge pair, which will be dropping later this year. But I would definitely need to see them in hand first. Hope you guys found this video useful, and if you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much for all of the support and love on the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.